Look at those speed babies flying across the racetrack. The roar of the engines, the smell of burned rubber. Yes, friend, we are back.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. So for those who don't know, Dale didn't qualify for the Cup Series after that, but in 2008 he made a couple of starts in the NASCAR then Nationwide Series for Mike Harmon's team, and you began at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, the
Yep.
rain-shortened one. What was that like?
That was cool. I almost killed the NASCAR guy. We it broke a track bar mount in practice, and the track bar is what holds the rear end in from left to right. So you just finishing the last turn coming down the straightaway, and I was just finishing the last little piece of the turn and shifting it, and when I shifted it, that little bang broke it, finished it off. And all of a sudden the car is sashaying, it's wiggling left to right and left and right. And I'm trying to save it. And the whole time you're trying to save it, you can't get it to slow down because you can't do two things at once. So, but I was coming on pit road, not on purpose, but just that's where I was trying to save it. And the NASCAR guy saw me coming down pit road at like 140 miles an hour. And he stepped out to stop me, to basically yell at me and find me. And he made one step and realized, holy crap, this dude's not stopping, and ran out of the way. And by then I got it under control and made the turn. And he went to step out in front of me again. And I let go of the brake to get by him so he wouldn't step in front of me, knowing that as soon as I went by, sitting on the ground going dung, 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 was the track bar. And he would notice it, the sparks coming off of it as I went by. So we went back to the garage, fixed it, went right back out again. And later on, the guy came over and he's like, dude, you were this close of never racing again. And I'm like, yeah, except it wasn't me. He says, well, I realized that. That's why you were this close and you're not already there. Right. So we made the show. We sent 5 guys home, I think, which was cool. And then we took the car, changed it over, fixed a couple of things so it would go better. We went to Watkins Glen. I think we sent 15 guys home at Watkins Glen. So that was even cooler, right? Just to make the show was a job in itself, right?
Yeah. So for those who don't know, the 2008 Zippo 200 at Watkins Glen was Dale's final then Nationwide Series
Right.
race, which is now the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. And the race was popular because you had the Scotsman Dario Franchitti on pole in his only NASCAR season in the Nationwide Series, and was also running in the Cup Series. And then Dario led the race for Chip Ganassi Racing briefly, and then the race was dominated by Jeff Burton and Jimmy Johnson, who was making his return to the Nationwide Series for Junior
Right.
Motorsports. And then the race became popular because Marcus Ambrose, who had struggled to win races in that series, finally broke through to victory after several heartbreaking finishes in Montreal and then a runner-up in Mexico City. And so seeing the Australian V8 Supercar champion win the race was pretty cool to see. What do you think, Dale?
It was great, right? There's nothing like bringing new people into the sport. It taught a bunch of the guys how to drive better because he just elevated the whole driving characteristics of road racing. So that was cool. It was, like I said, it was just the fact that you sent 15 guys home, right? Shows you how good the sport was at the time. I just didn't like, we were on a B plus team, maybe a B minus team. I didn't like not having a shot at top 5, top 10 for sure, right? And that's all that was around at the moment. And I didn't have a ton of money to go buy a ride, right? So I just stopped going. I didn't want to go like they were doing starts and parks back then. I didn't want to do that. That's just not what I'm about, right? So I just stopped going. I didn't go again until I bought my Craftsman truck.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Other drivers have told me the same before. Road course racer Tony Abe ran some NASCAR races.
Right.
And he told me in a few years back that the reason why he stopped racing in NASCAR was because the start and park days did not appeal to him and he didn't want to waste his time on it. And so did a
Right.
few other drivers. So you were out of the sport for a while because of that. What did you do to keep busy until you got into the truck series?
So I think we went, I went and just back and was running the Bushnell series right for a while, and it changed to the K&N series. Then I got divorced. I had to stop for a little while, and I took on. I think I was running Jeff Anton's team back then for a little while, and I grew that into we were a top three team. And then I moved down south um, and started racing again on a limited schedule. Just started doing what I had done in the past, right? Just instead of running 30 races, I focused on 8 and just kept it small and made it so we could afford to do it. Right? And that's what I'm still doing.
Oh, wow, baby, look at those speed babies flying across the